Well, I do want to kind of say that things have turned out a little bit differently than I thought they would, and I will say that anyway, I probably thought tonight I'd be at Starbucks to see my buddies and probably be out there kind of doing a little sewing at the table like I sometimes do. But I tell you, I've just kind of decided after all this that it's been the kind of week it's been, and I just would say that I feel a little safer tonight in my own home. So, I've decided I would kind of get back on here and just to kind of maybe sew and talk to you all while I do it. So, I just wanted to say that as for this walrus here, where we've been kind of worked on, like one part of the muzzle and one part of the fin already, I have decided to open the pieces back up and to come back to work on a little bit more of it. And so I have decided, since I'm going to be doing it in my home tonight, I would go ahead and the one you saw me working on 2 videos ago, I'm deciding for this one I'm going to finish the rest of the one I was working on then and probably come back and do another one where I'll finish the other one. But it does probably get a little bit boring when you kind of do this alone and aren't really performing to somebody while you're doing it. So I've decided I'd take this along and try to add a little extra work in front of the camera just to kind of let you all see a little more as to how I'm doing and to what I'm doing. So I'm going to put the rest of the work into this, show you all a little more how it's done. And as for what we did the last time around in the making of the muzzle and tying the tusk onto the muzzle, we are going to work on that again here. So we're going to come alongside the work and see how we can make the rest of things turn out. I did actually get a piece of dark blue thread, which is kind of like the color of the denim of the muzzle, and we'll kind of work along on this just to see where we take it, how far it goes. Sometimes I just always like to think about the old-time entrepreneurs. Done a lot of reading about Colonel Sanders in my life, and so much I've learned about how when he sold his business to John Brown that, well, anyway, I won't say anything because there's just a lot of stuff that I've probably heard from other people, never read it in documents or read it from any legitimate sources. I think that people just have different opinions about different things, and what I was about to say, probably won't say it because I don't really know it for a fact. So, kinda just best to be careful what we say. And that's kinda all how it is. Makes me think about all the things I've learned recently through motivational videos, how celebrities get so much paparazzi, and once the proper paparazzi goes on, people post the pictures and tell and make up a lot of stories about them. Sometimes we don't always know the nature of these stories. We don't always know whether they're true or not. Sometimes there's always been things like Globe and National Enquirer that have kind of made articles for years where they've kind of said a lot of things that may not have been factual, and what all was kind of being said on those places today. It goes to the internet these days. I mean, everybody's not a journalist, so we kind of have to watch how we take news and watch what we see, watch what we hear. I just think sometimes celebrities are often gossiped about, and sometimes there's just a lot of gossip that goes around and gets said and gets heard. There's not too much of it I care too much for, because I just always kind of believe that there's places in my Bible where, we're kind of commanded against gossip and slander and all this defaming of people that goes around. There might have been the years of my life when I probably thought my life was so rough that might have turned on some of those shows like The Soup or whatever that were on, which were shows you kind of turn on to laugh at the expense of the rich and the famous. So there's been different times in my life when, for different observances I've had of different things, sometimes just because of what I couldn't observe in life, I'd be as serious as I could be. And when I had a psychologist telling me to smile more often and to kind of find things to watch on TV and not be so serious, I just tried to kind of look for things that according to me would give me a point in doing what he said. And sometimes I just think I've always learned that that's one of those things in the Bible where it tells us that the fashion of this world passes away. So we know that sometimes things might be of this world. They might appeal to us for a certain amount of time, but there's going to be times when they're going to go away. They're going to become things we're going to care less about in time. I'd say one thing I know is there's a lot of stuff where the young people in life, I mean, the young people kind of probably don't really understand, how some things can be said and how they can be taken. And sometimes, I mean, with their less experience, I mean, they might not have experienced some of the things in life that us older people have. And sometimes we kind of learn as we grow older. Sometimes we just get a little empathetic as we get older. We get more empathetic in such a case. So that's how that goes. Like I did with the last one, I've sewn the muzzle on here. And there's going to be just a little more work to come. You probably saw where I sewed the first fin on to the underside in the last video. Like I'll say again, this fin is kind of different shaped from this, so just to kind of get the pattern in and to get it to the right place, sometimes you kind of have to cut them from separate fabrics just to kind of make them so they come in real neat and handy. I started to feel a little cold down here, so I decided to turn on the fireplace over there. Got a little chilly down here in this basement. Kind of felt cold myself. Probably not all that cold outside, but I don't even know whether it could just be I might be having some kind of body temperature or something that's going on with me. So I'm going to kind of put the thread through the eye of the needle once again, make it go through. I say that work can really take a toll on us these days. I'm also coming to the point where I'm waiting for Twitter to collect my data thinking at this point I am going to probably completely get rid of my Twitter, maybe still save my Facebook, but I got rid of my Instagram not too long ago. But my problem is that there's just too much people are putting on Twitter that I don't want to see, and advertising too much that I don't want to buy, trying to sell what I don't need, and probably just getting on there just saying a lot of stuff and telling a lot of stuff that I don't want to know. So I say with a little work we have here, we're coming along this place and taking this walrus down, and we're going to try to sew a little fin back into place here, get it in the place where it really needs to go, take care of these matters, and we're going to try to sew it along here and kind of take it to where it needs to be. Hopefully this thing is going to cooperate this time. It's going to make a knot that's going to stop, not keep pulling the thread through the whole way and the whole time. So we got a little work to do here, kind of got a little work to go about. So I tell you, it keeps getting hung up in the fabric on the other end, so gotta try to work along this line here. There are some things you couldn't do professional enough to be on a video. Always wanted to be able to sing and play an instrument, and sometimes I've probably done some home videos where I've done a little bit of that, put it on YouTube to share, dressed in sombreros and did little interesting little gospel songs for people. People always loved the stuff I put on Reverb Nation in the past, but the little work I've been doing lately is probably the work I say has the most significance in all things that I do. And I'm getting all these threads tangled up here. It's getting in my way, and so trying to really get a project done, but it's hard to get around everything. Everything gets tangled every which direction, and you have to undo it. So that's kind of how it's been with me for that. Never been educated on how to teach anything, so probably couldn't teach this kind of art to anybody. So I say for now, it's like I get on this video just to show a little work, show a little what I can do. And I'm telling you, this thread, it keeps getting hung up in the other leaves of the fabric, all left and right here. We've got to kind of try to keep all this separate. I'm getting tired of this. And I do want to say that it's just another one of those things where, like I've said a little earlier, decided to work on this. I mean, with all I've kind of been through the past couple of days, even though it's warm outside and I could be going out a few places, I just feel like I feel a lot safer in my own home tonight. And it's probably getting to the point where it's getting a little closer to nighttime now. And sometimes it also comes to the point where in the winter time, dusk comes probably, I'd say, around 5:30 or 6 or so. It's been coming later because it's been getting a little bit closer to the spring. We still have a little over a month to go until the first day of spring. I forget which date it is, but know that it's a date in March, kind of like the 20th or something like that. So kind of work we're doing here, making things go a long way. Indeed, I tell you, I couldn't wait to see how far these walruses get, because even after I finish the ones I'm doing on these videos, I'll still have 3 more to go. Hopefully I'll have places to do them where it's going to be pretty open and pretty spacious, and places where it'll be warm enough. We don't know when the deadline is. We could get these done anytime, but we're going to be all the more thankful to have them done as soon as we do. I'd say that the work is like this. I say that this little time in my life when we get along to this kind of thing, I will say for me, getting along with people has been quite of an issue in my life. There are times in my life where sometimes I can feel a little less safe when I'm out and around people, and there are times when I just feel like it's safer inside my home because, like the memes will say on social media, it just gets a little too people-y out there. I do a lot of things at night that a lot of men my age don't do because they already got much busier jobs. They got houses to take care of, families to take care of, so everything is just kind of different from one age to the next. There's some things in life, I mean, there's things I have been blessed with and things I haven't, but you know, sometimes the things that are for somebody else are not for you. It's like I once read in a little book about quotes. There was a little quote in there that said, "Let's be ourselves, because other people's shoes can give us blisters." It's been quite the quote for me so much of my life. We know that there's so much to compare when it comes between ourselves and others. So much difference, you see. I'm getting to where I'm getting much older and get to where I can kind of do less of it than I used to, but comes to be a little thing like you see. There's been little times in my life, and sometimes I've told a few other people the same things I've been told all my life, that if anybody's life was not a carbon copy off of anybody else's, mine for sure was not. It was just among those things where we kind of have to take ourselves into consideration. We just may not have the same talents to do the same things as somebody else. People see my work, they say, "Oh, I wish I could be creative like that." They say, "I wish I could do that." But I want to say that as time goes on, you know, you learn that everybody can't be good at everything. I couldn't always be good at everything I wanted to be good at in life. Even as I grew much older, I mean, things couldn't always go as I expected. There were times in my life when I expected to be at different places in life than I turned out to be, but it was just all for the better, because, you know, it could have been more stressful to me to kind of live the kind of life that most people did and live the kind of life that most people do. I feel like there's so much in life where I'm getting along better about things, learning how to manage things better. Some things I couldn't learn all at once like most people. Some things I couldn't learn as fast as others. Some things I couldn't learn my way. And there's always been the things in life where we've always seen different points of view at different times from different people. And I think as far as this little work is concerned, I've taken it as far as I need to take it. I'd say that we've gotten the pieces sewn as they need to be for this little one. So I think we're going to kind of move on and finish the other one here. Get to be these times when I get real thirsty on the camera. Sometimes I have to take little things along with me. But I say there's a thing or two we're going to try to work on here. Try to get a little better along on this. I say that we can kind of come to the other side of this little walrus here, and I would say maybe sew along here just to kind of take care of this other side of its body. Take a little thing in here and make it just bright, shiny, and as the day goes by, and make us all just have little happy smiles. I tell you that the work is going to come along as it will. Some things are going to happen either way. We know that this little thing here, we probably have a little bit of a needle and thread left here, so good thing we can kind of go about this, take care of this little section of the neck here, and I wouldn't care too much if this video just went a little bit over, so we're going to manage this well and manage this fine and get little things taken care of, get the knot put in, and that's what I'm trying to do here, and take along a little place where we sew along a fine little line, and that's just the kind of thing that, of all things, in this little situation here, we are just going to need. So my little work shall come this way, take care of little things, take care of the things that matter, and there are things in life that do matter and things that don't. I say that trivial little stuff's going to happen, and we know that it's going to be the things that kind of take us under control. We're going to work about this, and no, I tell you, it's taken forever, and it's going to make this video longer. Trying to get all the way down to the end of the thread without pulling it all the way out. That's my aim. That's my goal. And it's getting tangled up in the fin again. Taking too much, taking too long, taking forever. And this little work of mine, it is going to shine a little light here and there and make a little time to go a longer way. Well, we didn't get it through the right way, but that's not going to matter in the long run. And I tell you, I'm tired of it coming off. Well, it didn't come off the needle. We got it just there like that. And just kind of come to say, probably ended up with a long string on the other end. But we managed that just fine too. We got a long ways to go about this and taking care of things as they need to be. We got it like that, I say. Got it like that, I say. soon we're going to do a video where we're going to demonstrate how the tusks are sewn, but that's going to probably come a little long way. I will have all day tomorrow. There's a lot of things I will have all day tomorrow to do because I'll be home from school. My parents won't be home from their trip yet. So, of all things we're working on today, we're going to have a little more to go as we look a little further into the sky and look a little further into what we do and look a little brighter and shinier each day and make the smiles of everybody around us see what we need to see and know what we need to know and do what we need to do, because this little grace in us is bound for glory. I say that we come this way and take this little notion here, feel like I'm coming longer ways here, getting further along on this, getting it where I need it to be. I say that this is the part we kind of went over in one of the last videos here, and we're kind of taking it down to the very, very, very extremity that I say that it needs to be, and we're getting this little work done and taking it down the road to a new level, take care of our time and manage it well, do it well, make it all kind of brighten us up, brighten our days, and make us all as happy as we can be. There's so much in life where we see so much we wouldn't say to a stranger. It's just a time when we're kind of working on things, making things come out so much for the good and for the better, and I say that this little work of mine, it shines the light unto the tunnels of the good. We're getting along on this fine, getting this work done here. We're probably going to take it a little bit further than we intend to, but that'll be okay for us. I'm thinking when it comes down to this, we don't know how far this little piece of thread is going to go, but try to take it along to the path it needs to take. I tell you, it's just kind of tying things up a bit here, making it so we're kind of losing a little track of the things we are doing that we're trying our best to do. So try to work along this line, make it all just kind of sound a little familiar to us. I say that this is a little ways that things must go, and as to how we see how it's going to be, this is the line we're taking. This is the line we're doing. This is the line we gotta go on and make sure it all can make a little better place for you and me. Make a little bit of a better world for us. We gotta work along this line and take things out a little better as they go. So this has been my experience with the project, and better yet, how far it's going to go, we don't know yet. There's just a lot of struggle here. I'm going to get down to this very part at the beginning of the fin and go that far and take it back up again. We're probably going to be climbing Mount Everest again with this thread, but measure it out, measure it as it needs to be, go along the work as best we know how, the best we can do, make it shine a little brighter and easier for us all. I will say that there's been little things going on the past couple of days. Sometimes you can feel a little safer at home than you can out in public because you just get a little older and realize that being at home is just gets to be a little more priceless in time. That's kind of how it goes the older you get, and more you appreciate things, more you appreciate being alive and all the adventures you've been through. And I say that little trials and tribulations, they take us to the times when we go through the things, and sometimes we become a little stronger because of it. I've been strong in this pandemic because I tell you, I've had my shares of troubles even before it started. So, right along this world, I say, here we go. We're going to try to end this video here, maybe come along a few more steps in the other one, and try to see how far along we can get. And I hope you do well. These videos are coming pretty fast these days. Take care.